Okay, so I do not follow Tennessee politics closely. I did see the brouhaha with the Tennessee three and the two Justins being expelled, but because of them being expelled, all of this other stuff, the undercurrents of Tennessee and their politicians is coming out. The hypocrisy is coming out. I'm listening to TikTok as I'm washing dishes, and they start talking about the House Speaker in Tennessee named Cameron Sexton. Apparently, he is a cheat two ways. He is cheating on his wife, and he is cheating the residents of Tennessee. He lives someplace that he is getting per diem on, but he is representing another place. So he is a cheater and a hypocrite. And so as I am scrolling, listening to these particular videos, I'm like, he is a Tennessee Republican. This man is definitely a Christian as well. Of course he's a Christian. That is, hypocrisy is just woven into the very fabric. So I have strung together a few videos just in case you are not up to the Tennessee tea, just like I wasn't. Like I said, I recognize that this is 2 weeks old, but not all of us follow Tennessee politics. So if you want some tea with your Sunday brunch, being a heathen like I am, go ahead, get some, and then get ready to watch these videos, and then let me know on the back end what you think.
Karma is kicking this Speaker of the House of Tennessee's behind right now. It's Shauna, and it's time for a hilarious news bite. If you don't know, this guy decided to kick two members of the Tennessee House or what have you out of the legislature because they stood alongside the people of their community in asking for some help with the gun control so that kids aren't just being slaughtered at schools all the time, right? So this guy got mad, and he and his Republican friends decided to kick three people out of the legislature, but only the two black guys got kicked out and not the white guy or the white lady. And so then there was a recording that said that they felt like they were looking racist now. Wait for it, okay? You got to watch the whole damn thing this time, guys, all 3 minutes. So they're all freaking out that the Tennessee legislature looks racist because they kicked out the two black guys and not the white lady. And we all heard why, right? It didn't make sense to the guy to vote her out, and so he didn't vote her out. Then we learned that this guy didn't live in Crossville, that he sold his home that his family lived in for $450,000, bought a 2-bedroom condo so he could say that he had a house or lived in Crossville, which he didn't. But in reality, he bought another house, like $1 million house in 1.5 million, I think it was worth, in Nashville. He buys that house, but not under his own name. He has his friend buy that house, and then he hides the purchase using shell corporations and all that, right? So that's why this is a straw purchase. And then he rented that house from his friends and then had the taxpayers pay for his rent/mortgage. And to keep this lie going and to make enough money to afford his house, because he hasn't even paid the $5,000 in property taxes. But anyway, he would say that he drove from Crossville, 300 miles or whatever, to Nashville and stayed the night in hotels and had, food there, what have you. And he would get reimbursed for all of that. Well, not reimbursed. He would steal that money, allegedly, because he didn't spend any of it. And he would list it on his expense report. And then the taxpayers would give him the money to put in his own wallet. Well, now it turns out that he's also been cheating on his wife, allegedly. And he's been cheating on his wife with a lobbyist. The lobbyist who has now shut off her social media accounts, by the way. And that lobbyist is married to the communications director of the governor of Tennessee. I don't know if they're all cousins. It's possible. Now, here's the kicker. See this man? See this date? Richard Garrett was arrested for doing less than what Cameron Sexton did. See, he was arrested, and his wife, by the way, his wife also got in trouble for lying about where they lived and voting where they didn't live instead of where they did live. He had to resign his place, he got sued civilly, had to pay a $1,000 fine, and was put on probation. If they don't arrest Cameron Sexton, they're going to look racist.
Speaker Cameron Sexton not having a great week. He expelled the Justins. They were back. Turns out he's purchased a house in Nashville for over $600,000 that he may be living in, which is against the rules. Well, this came out. We come to this tweet right here from my friend Jason Steen of Scoop Nashville saying, "Hey, Cameron Sexton, maybe you shouldn't be taking and sending those types of photos as a married man." And we know what type of photos he's talking about. Here's a name, Megan Lyons Lane. So that's her, that's Megan right there. And according to Scoop Nashville, this is the mistress of Mr. Sexton. She's a lobbyist. From what I hear, she's married to someone in Bill Lee's director of communications. Look, this is all rumor at this point, but Mr. Sexton, as I put out there earlier in another video, when you shine a spotlight on yourself on a national level, you will be scrutinized on a national level. And that's what's happening to you, my friend. And just a reminder, this is all speculation at this point. We will continue to watch this and monitor it. But look, you messed around, you played the game, and now this is going to happen. So I'm going to call Mr. Sexton on Monday, and let's find out if these stories are true or not. We need some verification. But yes, Sexton, he will probably not be Speaker of the House for much longer, and we got more stories coming out about him. Man, couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Cameron Sexton was finally asked about his Nashville home and the tens of thousands of dollars in per diems he's collecting from taxpayers for a 2-hour commute back to Crossville that he doesn't make. Sexton's response was to mislead the people of Tennessee. Sexton said, "I live in Crossville, my home is in Crossville, and those per diems reflect what's happened amongst everybody." None of that is true. First, Sexton's home is in Nashville. He bought it for almost $600,000 in 2021. Sexton admitted that he and his family live in Nashville year-round. His youngest child is enrolled full-time in a Nashville school. Second, the per diems he collected do not reflect what happened amongst everybody. Reps who live within 50 miles of Nashville get around $80 a day. Reps who live more than 50 miles away from Nashville get around $313 a day to cover the costs of living away from home. Sexton owns a home in Nashville. To put this in perspective, since 2021, the representative from District 56, where Sexton lives, collected just $10,885 in per diem expenses. Since 2021, Sexton has collected $92,071 in per diem expenses. Sexton says, "We are in Nashville 5 months a year, and we go back to Crossville on the weekends and so forth." What he doesn't say is the most important part. Sexton continues to live in Nashville year-round. Under Tennessee law, if your family lives somewhere and you live with them, that is where you reside for voting purposes. So if Sexton and his family live in Nashville for voting purposes, he cannot legally represent Crossville. The issue is not the 4 months that the Tennessee legislature is in session. The issue is the other 8 months, when he would return to Crossville, but does not, because he and his family live in Nashville. Sexton obviously knows that buying a $600,000 home in Nashville is not consistent with living in Crossville, where he owns a $175,000 condo. This is Popular Information, a newsletter that holds the powerful accountable. Now follow along here and subscribe for more accountability journalism.